Okay, so your name is Prativa Lama, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you are working, correct, right now?
Not right now. I left 2 years back.
Years back. Why you have left?
2 years back.
2 years. Why?
To prepare for the exam.
But you are already in the job, I think, for 10 years, correct?
Yes.
So you have given this long time. So why you have quit the job actually?
This was not a sudden decision actually. So when growing up, I came from a very humble background, and being the eldest daughter, I had to support my family. So initially, that spark was there for the foreign service when I first read. This book called Windmill of the Gods. So it was in school that it first that desire was there. But growing up, I took on a more conventional career path, and I had to support my family. And going forward, I worked at ITC Infotech for almost 10 years, and it was a great experience. But somewhere deep down below, I still felt that I had to do more, and that was when my childhood dreams resurfaced again. And also having seen Dr. Nirupama Rao and Mrs. Chokila Iyer, our own very lady foreign secretaries from India, so that was very inspiring, and all of these things added up slowly, and then pushed me towards this path. While that was the personal quest to this destination, I feel that the foreign service and the diplomats play an important role, especially since the world today is very dynamic and interconnected, and they play an important role in enhancing the comprehensive national power of our country. And this also brings to my mind something I read in Arthashastra some time back. Where it says that foreign policy is very important because it affects the welfare of the state and the well-being of its citizens. And even Dr. S. Jayanagara points out in his book that foreign policy has reached our homes and it matters to each and every citizen. So this is why I feel that strong desire to contribute towards the work of the diplomats and our foreign service, so to improve the stature and the position of our country in this world, and I hope I am closer to that dream.
So right recently there was a news like India's actually ranking on passport strength that gets dropped now. So what was the reason behind it?
Yes, I think I'm not too sure about it. For as far as my understanding goes, the passport ranking, like while we have got more countries for free visa without visa travel, but overall I think relatively it has not improved that much. So it is I think it is because of that relative position, that's why we lost out. So while we have more entries to more countries, but in a overall relatively with other countries we have not done so well.
So what actually reform or suggestions you will try to give to the policy makers, how to improve this actually ranking in passport?
I feel that what we can do is definitely our own relations, bilateral relations with each of these countries. So we can look at more mutually beneficial kind of visa regime. So we can also give more better visa and visa policies for them, and similarly we can look at so that they can also give our citizens more better visa policies. So we can do that.
Okay, so see, USA got new president, correct?
Yes.
And this new president is more actually having the policy of encroachment, or we can see the aggressiveness. Okay, so how you look actually this new president, okay, in today's globalization world actually, in context of India, whether he will going to be helpful for India or he will not be?
So I believe the President Trump's first administration was quite favorable to India, but despite that, I feel the India and US relationship has got its own substance and momentum that it has gathered since the 2005 Indo-US nuclear deal. So despite that, we have bipartisan support from both the Democrats and the Republicans. So it's the overall direction is not going to change much, but obviously there will be, because he's taken a stricter stance towards tariffs and visa restrictions, so that might impact our own traders and professionals. But on the other hand, I think because looking at our own security calculus, because President Trump is more taking a more harder stance on China, it can be beneficial to us, I feel, in terms of security.
Okay, so he was calling like to change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. So should we also change the Bay of Bengal to Bay of India?
So I think that is more of a political rhetoric that he is doing, because he enjoys doing. He's known to be very unpredictable. Okay. So it does not mean that we kind of follow in his own path.
Okay. So see how do you see basically the relationship of India and Bangladesh after this fall of the Hasina government?
India and Bangladesh share a very special relationship. So it was, I think, a sense of achievement for India when we helped them create their country in 1971. Post that, we have seen a lot of ups and downs in the relationship, and presently I see it as a more like a draw in the relationship. While in the last decade in Mrs. Sheikh Hasina's government was very favorable to India, like we had a lot of achievements there, like the land boundary agreement and the river water sharing and all that, and even the security part, because she was very tight on extremists. But right now the interim government is not seen as too much favorable to India, but I feel that overall our relationship is with Bangladesh and the people there, and we need to continue doing the good work that we have been doing there and reach out to all factions, and overall it should not impact our relationship, because we cannot ignore Bangladesh and Bangladesh cannot ignore us, because we have too much of geography, culture, and socially we are too integrated to ignore.
Okay. So basically you are born and raised in Darjeeling, correct? A reason that basically unique cultural identity. So just tell me, there is a demand of Gorkhaland, okay? So what is this actually Gorkhaland movement exactly? So how you see it, whether we need to have a new state or not?
This demand for Gorkhaland is more about an identity related movement, because we are like the people from the hills see themselves as little different culturally and ethnically different from the rest of Bengal, and also being quite far away from Kolkata, we feel a sense of neglect there. So that is why that urge for autonomy and self-governance, because the local people know the local problems best. So that is the main stance that they have regarding Gorkhaland. And I think in the 1980s there was an agitation, and a separate hill council was put in place. Right now we have the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration, so it's a semi-autonomous body. We have executive powers given in certain limited areas, but at the same time legislative powers are lacking. So people still feel that their aspirations are not met. So I feel instead of having a proper state or something, we can probably look at a more autonomy and see a phase-wise movement or a level-wise movement towards that, and ultimately having self-governance and having it brings people governance to the people closer. So it's a good move to have better governance actually.
Okay, so see, if Gorkhaland became a new state, okay, whether it can sustain on its own, whether industries are there so that that can have actually own resources, not depend too much on the central government, it is there?
If we create a separate state of Gorkhaland, industries are there. I think two or three of the main industries I can recall. One is the tea industry, and second is timber and the tourism industry, which is there. In fact, I cannot comment on whether it is going to sustain a proper state or not, but I I do know that like the amount of revenues that we contribute to the West Bengal government, the amount of development money that comes in is quite proportionally it's quite small, and in fact I think across all the districts it is quite lesser than what is given to the other districts.
Okay. See, same complaint is done by South India also, South Indian states. They are giving more but they are getting less return compared to other states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So it is a right concern or it's just like a politicization of this issue?
It is a valid concern, not just a politicization, because if a particular region is contributing more to the economy, then the other states or other regions should also be encouraged to contribute more. So it should not be like a disincentive that because we contribute less, we are going to get more. So then it gives that a little bit of complacence kind of an attitude, and also a resource curse that sets in, because you have plentiful resources but you're not able to use it properly or make use or manage them properly. So I think it is both a little bit of politicization as well on this issue, but there is logic to it as well.
Okay, so in this sense then Jharkhand, Bihar, West Bengal, Odisha, they are supplying most of the raw materials that needed in other states, whatever the factories and industries are there. So should they also demand whatever the price they want for the resources, because they are selling at the cheaper rate, correct?
Right, I am not so much aware about the resource and the mining prices and all that, but yeah.
No issue. So for example, you have not considered a home state, that is West Bengal, as your first, not a home cadre. Why? What is the reason?
Sir, actually I would like to give you a little bit of my background. So my father was serving as a soldier in the Gorkha regiment before he joined the state electricity board. So both my parents have gone around India, and they have always inculcated in both my sister and I that all India kind of an outlook. So we never, like, while we were cultured in our own culture and ethnicity, but at the same time we always developed that all India kind of a feeling. So it's not that I don't want or don't like West Bengal or something like that, but it's more to do with like being able to serve anywhere in the country, and I feel as comfortable and as at ease in Bangalore or Delhi or Dimapur or Kochi. So I don't have a problem anywhere serving anywhere in the country.
Okay. So see, you already work as a senior consultant at ITC Infotech. Okay. So what skills from the corporate career you are going to use in public administration?
I can recall top 3 skills right now. So one particular thing is to be able to work with people from diverse backgrounds and culture. So in my work experience and work area, I had to interact with a lot of people, not just from across India but across the world, different countries, and being able to understand their cultural nuances, their comfort and their work styles. So that is, I feel, very important. Which I can leverage in the public administration. And second thing is I think like we tend to work in silos. So what I learned from my work experience is that there are a lot of redundant things, like there are so many departments, but whenever I used to work, I used to ensure that like all of these redundancies in different departments, like sometimes they would be doing the same kind of work, so which we can reduce by having proper communication and breaking down these silos. And I think this is an important skill that we can use in the government as well, so that we can reduce any such redundancies. And the third thing is to use resources efficiently. So many times we are just given like, okay, this is what you have to do and this is the number of people you have to work with. So I think that is a very important skill, because in the government we are always constrained with resources, so we have to make the optimal use of what we have.
Okay. So definitely tomorrow will be the budget. Okay. So today the economic survey says that India's GDP growth is going to grow 6.4%. So this is actually 4 years low. So, what are the factors because of that India's GDP growth becomes that less compared to earlier? Actually, we have projected like 8% or 7%. So, what is the main problems India is facing right now?
I can think of the top one that is coming to my mind is private investment is quite low. So it has not picked up since COVID, and despite the tax breaks and all, they have not gone all out and invested. Second thing is the consumer demand. While it has picked up a lot, but I think we can still do more in that, because demand creates a virtuous cycle. And the third thing is, I feel it's the exports, because the world economy as a whole is not doing that great as before. So if we have that exports led growth can add to the GDP a lot.
Okay, so see, what actually three important suggestions you will going to give to the finance minister for the budget reform? Actually, what she needs to do?
The top one I can think of is related to women, because we have not done so much for women. Giving tax breaks to women, and probably giving tax incentives to companies to hire more women, because we need to improve our LFPR for women. Second thing that comes to my mind also, which is quite overlooked in fact, and it is related to the Ministry of External Affairs. We have, in fact, it is one of the least allocated budget for the ministries as a whole. So we can increase that, because considering that we have a lot of commitments and we are asserting ourselves as a world power, so we need to put in more resources for more research, more capability development, and also fund more projects around the neighborhood and in smaller countries in the global south.
Okay. Okay, so another important thing is, for example, okay, you have interest in social justice also, correct? So how would you address this caste-based discrimination in rural India?
So I think I've written sustainability.
Okay, so okay, no issue. So, for example, this caste-based discrimination, they are already going in India. Okay, so how you going to address that?
So I, being a student of sociology, I would like to take a more social view, because there has been a lot of we have had a lot of laws and rules and regulations regarding caste, but until and unless like that it is affected in society, in our families, probably with more intercaste marriages, getting more outside our own circle, increasing our kith and kin, and also and not practicing that in the ground level. So that is more I feel that that can help in the eradication of caste in the longer term. As in fact I can recall what Mahatma Gandhi ji said, that it is reform by heart and by love, and not just by law. So we can look at that.
Okay, see, for that purpose, this one policy, reservation policy, government has long introduced. So how you see this reservation policy, whether it should continue